So we're watching, we're in the heart in the heat of watching all the Olympic events and activities, and a lot of you can't get live. I'm not able to watch most of it live, but I am watching the replays, and while all of it is awesome, I mean it's nothing. There's nothing like watching the world's best compete and battle it out, right? For the glory of raising the flag and getting that medal. I mean the amount of dedication and commitment they put in to getting to this point to qualify to get there. And I know not every country's there, but still, I still call it the world's best, right? These are truly world champions. A lot of other sports can say they're world champions, but I mean, this is the best of the best in the world. And one thing I want to talk about real quick is track and field. And as a sports performance coach and a youth athlete development coach, I see a lot of coaches in my field, and even parents that'll see something on YouTube and say, you got to fix my kid's mechanics. He runs too tall. His arms aren't moving correctly, or something isn't doing right. I mean, if you watch track and field, I say it's a lot like the golf swing, right? There's no such thing as a perfect golf swing, right? The TPI, Titleist Performance Institute, talks about how there is no one swing, right? You adapt the swing to your movement efficiencies and inefficiencies, and you do the same thing with running. You're going to run the way that you are strongest. Now, if you're rotating a ton, there are some things that can be fixed within that to make that more appropriate, more efficient. But it's going to boil down to kind of three main things, and there are different categories within those. But it's like, I'm going to improve stride length. How long is my stride? I can work on fixing that. Stride frequency, how often, how many foot contacts am I making in during that sprint, and the amount of ground force, how much force am I putting into the ground, so ground force development. And that has to do with, people say, well, what about tendon, ankle stiffness? Great, that has to do with how much force are you losing. So you're getting really, really into the weeds, really, really deep into details. Are you losing force? Is it dissipating into the ground for every time you put your foot down on the track or the field or wherever you are? But it still boils down to those things, and that hasn't changed. I've been doing this for 25 years. That hasn't changed. It's still those things, like some of the drills, some of the science, some of the ways that we address that. So there are some more advanced technologies that got involved, but you're still going to resist it. You're going to do overspeed. You're still going to do some of the same stuff, and the stuff in the weight room hasn't changed a whole lot either. So you got to stop trying to reinvent the wheel and get away from everything that has worked. We're going back 100+ years, looking at some of the scientific stuff that the Russians and Eastern Europeans, or the bloc countries, were doing, that still works. It's still not just works, but it's super, super effective. And a lot of what we do was based off of their research and what they've done and how well it worked. So the contrast, all the things we're doing in the weight room and on the field and on the track. It's just stick with the basic stuff. As a parent, I don't know how many parents have come to me like, hey, I need you to fix my kid's running mechanics. I want to work on running mechanics. And it's like, man, your kid is running fine. He's just not strong. He's got a short stride. Let's open his hips up a little bit. Let's work on some of these little things. So mechanically, yes, we got to open it up and work on stride length, stride frequency, or ground force development. Really, it's all we got to do. Telling me that you want to see drills and stuff with all these different elements of us focusing on, we're gonna break down and mechanically change everything he's doing. It's like, look, your kid is still growing. The mechanics and the levers, all the things are going to change in that kid, especially if you're going through puberty, right? You're going to change. I watched my son grow, 4.5 inches in like 3 months, and his running changed. It did change. The dynamics of the hip and how all that, the structurally how he was placing force in the ground through the hip, everything changed. So that's a little more advanced, but at the end of the day, we're going back to the three things: stride length, stride frequency, and ground force development. Okay, and you can tweak little things, you can change little things along the way, but let the kid find out what that natural pattern is. It was awesome watching the 100, the 400, the 50, even when the 1500 meter, when they cranked it out and put it down, it's still a little different, right? Now distance running is a little different than sprinting, but you're watching the sprinting mechanics, and I'm watching all the women and all the men run, and it's different. There are no two runners on that track doing the exact same mechanics. Some people are their foot looks like it's striking in front. They're leaning forward a little bit. Some people are more vertical. They're fast. They're all fast. Would they all be? You probably have a school of coaches saying, well, they'd be so much faster if they all ran like this. Great, man. Good for you. Go conquer the world and make everybody run exactly the same like a robot. So we're all different. We're all wired different. We all have different levers, lever lengths, and everything's tendon. All that stuff is so much different. You're gonna run what's best for you, and we're gonna complement that. We're gonna find ways to improve those three main elements, right? Improve your stride length, stride frequency, ground force development. A million drills within that, a million ways to address it. Still focus on those things. Technology is great for feedback. If you got questions, comments, awesome, great. Leave them down below. Reach out to us, Coach Hoy at finishfirstperformance.com. Love to hear what you have to say and help you out. See ya.